I unlocked my front door after a 14-hour shift, the kind that leaves your bones hollow and your thoughts slow, and froze when I heard water running from my bathroom, steady and intimate, like a heartbeat that didn't belong to me. My shoes were still on, my bag slid from my shoulder, and a cold truth pressed into my chest as I stood there in my own hallway, realizing someone else was in my home, using my shower, breathing my air, rewriting the quiet I depended on to survive. Before the story unfolds, if you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in the way one human choice can change another life forever, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel Ripple of Kindness. Your support keeps stories like this alive. The apartment had been my refuge since the divorce, a narrow place with peeling paint and a stubborn window that whistled at night. I had learned its sounds, the way the pipes clicked, the way the floor sighed when I crossed the living room. That night, those familiar sounds betrayed me. The shower steam seeped under the bathroom door, warm and foggy, carrying the faint scent of soap I didn't own. My heart pounded with the kind of fear that makes the world narrow. I thought of calling the police, of backing out quietly, of the anger that rose with the fear. Then I thought of my own exhaustion, of how nothing in my life had gone according to plan for months, and I took a step forward instead. When the bathroom door opened, the moment cracked open like glass. A woman stood there, wrapped in a towel, eyes wide with the same terror I felt, her hands trembling as if she'd been holding them together with will alone. The shock wasn't just that she was there, but that she looked like someone who had been running from something for a very long time and finally collapsed into the first shelter she found. The air between us was heavy with confusion and the kind of vulnerability that doesn't ask permission. I noticed bruises along her forearm, the faded kind that don't belong to accidents, and a thin line of dried blood at her temple she'd tried to wash away. In that instant, my anger lost its teeth. I backed away, gave her space without a word, and sat on the edge of the couch, my hands shaking. My mind argued with itself, telling me I was foolish, that compassion could be dangerous, that this wasn't my problem. But another voice, quieter and older, reminded me of nights I'd slept in my car after the separation, of the shame of being unseen, of how mercy once arrived for me in a form I didn't expect. The woman stayed in the bathroom, the water shut off now, the silence thickening. Minutes stretched. When she finally stepped into the living room, fully dressed in clothes she'd found drying on my rack, her posture told a story of someone used to shrinking. She explained without words, in the way people do when they're afraid their truth will get them thrown back into the dark. She had mistaken the apartment for a vacant unit, the door unlocked after a maintenance visit, and had been on the street for days. The shower wasn't a theft. It was a small, desperate attempt to feel human again. I saw it then, the deeper challenge in front of me, not just what to do in the next hour, but who I wanted to be when the world tested me like this. I offered her food, a place to sit, and time. Those simple things steadied her breathing, softened the sharp edges of the moment. Over the next hours, the apartment transformed. The kettle boiled, steam curling like a truce. She ate slowly, as if every bite needed permission. Her story unfolded in pieces, the way broken things do, revealing a life interrupted by loss, a job gone after caring for a sick parent, a relationship that turned controlling and cruel, a spiral that pushed her out of safe rooms and into the night. I listened not as a rescuer, but as someone who understood the humiliation of needing help and the courage it takes to accept it. The main challenge wasn't solving her life or saving mine. It was resisting the urge to turn away from discomfort. Morning light crept in, pale and forgiving. I made a call to a local shelter I'd once donated to without thinking much about it. The voice on the other end recognized the urgency in mine and arranged a place for her, not a miracle, but a step. I found an old jacket that fit her and wrote down the address, the bus route, the name of a counselor who had helped others like her rebuild. As she prepared to leave, the apartment felt fuller than it had in months, like kindness had rearranged the furniture inside my chest. Life didn't transform overnight for either of us. I returned to my long shifts and quiet evenings. She went to the shelter, then to a training program, then to a small room of her own. Weeks passed. One afternoon, a note appeared under my door, handwritten and careful, thanking me for the shower that washed off more than dirt, for the night that reminded her she wasn't invisible. The shock I felt then was gentler, the kind that warms you instead of freezing you in place. I realized that what happened next wasn't about romance or drama, but about the ripple effect of one decision made under pressure. If this story is touching your heart, if you feel that ache that comes when you recognize yourself in someone else's struggle, please pause here and engage with the video. Your likes, shares, and subscriptions help these stories reach people who need them most. Months later, my life looked different in small, meaningful ways. I volunteered on weekends, learned the names of neighbors I'd ignored, unlocked my door with less fear and more intention. The woman I met that night sent another message, this one with a photo of her first paycheck, her smile steady and earned. I didn't save her, and she didn't save me. We both learned that kindness doesn't ask for perfection, only presence. Before the ending, I have a special request. Please comment below and tell us about a moment when a stranger's kindness changed your path, or when you chose compassion despite fear. Your story might be the light someone else needs. I came home expecting rest and found a test instead, one that asked who I would be when my safety collided with another person's survival. What happened next shocked me not because it was dramatic, but because it revealed a quiet truth. The bravest doors we open are the ones inside ourselves, and when we do, the ripples can carry hope far beyond our wall.